picture this. You are walking to your car after a late dinner.
Mm-hmm.
The parking lot is mostly empty. The streetlights are like a little too dim.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
Right. And suddenly you hear footsteps pacing you just a few yards back.
Yeah, that is a terrifying feeling.
Your heart rate instantly spikes. Your palms get sweaty. In that specific terrifying fraction of a second, what do you think is the most important thing you need to know?
Well, I mean, most people would argue they need to know the mechanical solution right then and there.
Right, exactly.
They want the physical blueprint, like how to break a grip or how to throw a preemptive strike.
Just how to physically escape.
Exactly.
Which makes total sense, right? I mean, you want the how-to manual for survival in that moment.
Of course.
But what if focusing solely on the how is actually blinding you to the most critical component of self-defense?
That is the big question.
Right. So today, in this deep dive, we are looking at a stack of sources, including this really fascinating article titled Discovering Your Why, Vitality Through Purpose on the Mats.
Along with a collection of incredibly revealing student reviews from the Self-Defense Academy in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, those reviews were eye-opening.
They really were.
Yeah.
We are exploring the concept of practical street self-defense, but through the highly unique lens of Valente Brothers Jiu-Jitsu and a philosophical framework known as the 753 Code.
Which is just a brilliant system.
It is. We're talking about awareness, posture, mindset, and confidence. Okay, let's unpack this, because true self-defense, it turns out, is about a lot more than just throwing a punch.
Oh, absolutely. It's a completely different paradigm.
Yeah.
We have this cultural habit, I think, of equating self-defense entirely with physical combat sports.
Right, like being in a ring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the approach detailed in these sources suggests that if you don't know why you are fighting, like if you don't have a core purpose driving your existence,
Right.
then the physical techniques are just empty, disconnected movements.
Wow.
And they will eventually fail you under pressure. Now, I have to jump in here and play devil's advocate right out of the gate.
Sure, go for it.
Because I hear words like vitality and purpose. And honestly, it sounds great for like a weekend wellness retreat.
Right, it sounds very zen.
Exactly. But if I'm attacked in that dark parking lot, isn't the physical how-to the only thing that matters?
That's what you'd think.
Right. Like, why are we talking about philosophy when someone is actively trying to harm me? If a guy grabs my jacket, my purpose isn't going to magically make him let go. Technique is.
That is the natural reflex to this concept, for sure. But we need to upgrade the metaphor a bit.
Okay.
Think of technique as the software, but purpose is the battery life.
Oh, I like that.
Right. You can have the most sophisticated, perfectly coded self-defense app in the world.
Yeah.
But if the battery dies under the extreme stress of opening it, the phone is just a useless brick.
Wow. Okay.
Without a why, your physical actions just lack the vital energy required to sustain a defense.
Because your body's just dumping adrenaline, right?
Exactly. It's dumping adrenaline, and it is begging you to quit.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. The hardware and software are useless without a power source?
Precisely.
And that brings us to the everyday trap the article talks about. The thing that is draining our batteries before we even get to the parking lot.
The modern daily grind.
Exactly. We live in a society utterly obsessed with the how and the what. You wake up and you're immediately assaulted by what you have to do.
The meetings, the email.
Picking up the kids, and then you stress over how you're going to do it all.
Right. How will I beat traffic? How will I finish this report?
Exactly.
It creates this state of chronic depletion.
Yeah.
When you are solely focused on the logistics of just surviving your daily schedule.
You're just burning energy.
Constantly. You're burning energy without ever replenishing the source.
Right.
The article we're looking at explicitly states that beneath all of those daily tasks, there has to be a deeper driving force.
Right. A why.
Exactly. If you don't have that, you are walking through the world as an exhausted, distracted version of yourself.
And from a self-defense perspective, an exhausted, distracted person projects vulnerability.
Exactly. Which makes them a target.
Right. And, I was looking through the reviews for this academy.
Yeah.
And what shocked me was the demographic.
It's not what you'd expect, is it?
Not at all. You go in expecting a bunch of 20-something cage fighters preparing for a title bout.
Right, the meathead gym stereotype.
Exactly, but that is not what this is at all. What's fascinating here is you have executives bringing their teams in for corporate bonding.
Hmm.
You have people like Paul Franco talking about the holistic approach.
Sure.
You have parents like Angela Gregorio who explicitly state they are non-athletic, finding massive success.
Yeah, that was a great review.
You even have reviews marveling at the character growth of 5-year-olds. It completely dismantles that meathead stereotype.
It really does. The demographic shift is the proof of concept here. The instructor there, Flip Aguilar, he does something absolutely brilliant.
Oh, the sushi thing?
Yes, he hosts sushi and self-defense classes.
I saw that. Pairing wrist escapes with spicy tuna rolls.
Right.
On the surface, it sounds like a quirky marketing gimmick, you know?
It is.
But looking closer, it is a genius pedagogical tool.
It really is.
It completely lowers the barrier to entry and removes the intimidation factor that keeps most people away from martial arts.
Well, and it does more than just lower the barrier. It actually regulates the nervous system.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, if you walk into a hyper-aggressive, intimidating environment,
Like a typical fight joke.
exactly, your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, is already flaring up.
Right, you're already stressed.
Right. And you can't learn complex physical skills when you are in a state of hyperarousal.
Oh, that makes sense.
So by pairing the basics of personal safety with something communal and enjoyable, like making sushi, the Academy is teaching people that protecting your life force doesn't have to be rooted in paranoia or aggression.
Wow.
It can be rooted in community and joy.
Which completely flips the common misconception on its head.
Exactly.
The assumption is that self-defense is synonymous with, like, intense fitness regimens designed to break you down.
Right.
But this is about building a fortress around your energy. It is preventative.
Mhm.
So if modern psychology tells us we are burned out by the endless loop of how and what, did historical martial artists face this same fatigue, or is this purely a modern problem?
Well, human endurance has always required a philosophical anchor,
Okay.
which is why the article bridges ancient philosophy directly to modern street defense.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because to understand this, we have to look at the thinkers they bring in.
Right.
Starting with Friedrich Nietzsche, who famously said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow."
Such a powerful quote.
It is a quote that gets thrown around a lot for sure, but applying it to martial arts is a profound tactical shift.
It is. Because Nietzsche's essentially arguing that human endurance is theoretically limitless.
If the motivation is pure enough.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture of a physical altercation, it means that your physical stamina, your pain tolerance, and your ability to stay calm under pressure aren't just determined by your cardio routine.
Right, it's not just about how many miles you can run.
No, they are dictated by the strength of your underlying purpose.
I want to pull on that thread because the article also brings in Viktor Frankl.
Yes.
In Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl noticed something incredible while surviving the Holocaust.
Yeah, his observations are just foundational here.
He observed that the prisoners who survived the longest under those horrific conditions weren't necessarily the most physically robust men.
Right.
They were the ones who had a specific task waiting for them in the future.
Like a manuscript to finish, or a child to reunite with.
Exactly. Their biological endurance was literally tethered to their psychological purpose.
It's incredible.
It really is. It is the difference between running on a treadmill because you feel like you should lose weight
Right.
versus running out of a burning building to save your dog.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
One depletes you, the other unlocks reserves you didn't even know you had.
And that distinction is the core of this entire methodology.
Yeah.
The physical act of running might look similar in both scenarios, but the energy source is completely different.
Right.
And to operationalize that energy source, the Academy utilizes the 753 code.
Oh, of course. Yes.
This is the philosophical framework of Valente Brothers Jiu-Jitsu.
And it isn't just a vague list of nice ideas, right?
And not at all. It's a very specific operating system for the mind and body.
I'm glad you brought up the 753 code because we need to actually break this down. The numbers aren't arbitrary.
No, they are?
The 7 stands for the 7 virtues of Bushido, the traditional samurai code.
Right.
We are talking about rectitude, courage, benevolence, respect, honesty, honor, and loyalty. But how does something abstract like honesty actually translate to a physical self-defense class?
Well, it translates directly to the mat.
Okay, how?
Honesty in jiu-jitsu means you can't lie to yourself about your technique.
Oh, interesting.
If you use brute strength to force a move instead of proper leverage,
Right.
you are being dishonest with your body, and it will fail you against a larger opponent.
Wow. So the virtue is literally a physical mechanic.
Exactly. And courage isn't about bravado either.
What is it then?
It is the vulnerability to tap out, learn from a mistake, and try again.
Oh, I see.
The virtues are patterned directly onto physical behaviors.
Okay, so the 7 is the moral compass.
Yes.
What about the 5?
The 5 represents the keys to health.
Okay.
Rational nutrition, sensible exercise, efficient rest, proper hygiene, and a positive attitude.
So this is the physiological baseline.
Exactly. If we go back to our battery metaphor,
Yeah.
the 5 keys are how you plug the battery into the wall.
Right.
You cannot project strength and awareness in a parking lot if you are chronically sleep-deprived and malnourished.
Right. Your battery is draining before the threat even appears.
Precisely.
And finally, the 3. This is where it gets highly tactical.
Yes, the 3 is crucial.
The 3 refers to the states of mind, right? Zanshin, Mushin, and Fudoshin.
Yeah, these 3 concepts are the ultimate psychological defense mechanism.
Okay, let's break them down.
Zanshin is the lingering awareness.
Okay.
It's a state of relaxed alertness where you aren't paranoid, but you are completely present in your environment.
So that is how you spot the footsteps in the parking lot before they get close.
Exactly. Then there's Mushin, which translates to no mind.
No mind.
Yeah, it's a state free from ego and distraction, allowing you to react intuitively rather than freezing up to overthink.
Wow. And then Fudoshin is the immovable mind or immovable heart.
Right. When the chaos actually hits, your internal state remains unshakable.
So the 753 code isn't just like, be a good person.
No, not at all.
It's a complete architectural blueprint for human resilience.
It really is. And to ground this historically, the text brings in Aristotle and his concept of eudaimonia.
Which is an important distinction.
Very important.
A lot of people translate eudaimonia simply as happiness,
Right.
but it's actually opposed to hedonia, which is fleeting pleasure.
Exactly. Eudaimonia is about flourishing.
Flourishing.
It eyes the deep satisfaction of living a life of purpose, engaging in meaningful activities that align with your higher self.
And that flourishing is the essence of vitality.
Yes. When you synthesize the 753 code with Aristotle's eudaimonia and Frankl survival psychology, you arrive at this massive tactical shift.
Okay, what is it?
When a student steps onto the mats at the Self-Defense Academy and puts on their kimono.
And we should clarify, it's always called a kimono there, not a guy.
Right, a kimono. When they put it on, they aren't just learning to defend their physical body.
Right.
They are actively learning what they are defending.
Oh, wow.
They are defending their eudaimonia.
Oh.
They are defending their essence.
And the physical act of putting on that kimono is vital, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It acts as a psychological trigger. Tying the belt is like suiting up for a physical meditation on your own values.
That's a beautiful way to say it.
And the article backs this up with actual biology. Research shows a strong sense of purpose correlates with longer life expectancy, better cardiovascular health, and a lower risk of chronic diseases.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So this philosophical shift is literally hacking your physiology.
The mechanism behind that hack is just fascinating.
Tell me more about that.
Well, chronic stress, the kind caused by the endless how and what of modern life.
Yeah.
It floods our HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, with cortisol.
Just constant stress hormones.
Exactly. It keeps the nervous system in a constant low-grade state of fight or flight.
Right.
What the physical practice of jiu-jitsu does, when tied to a deep purpose, is metabolize that stress.
Okay, so what does this all mean for the person listening right now? Let's get incredibly practical.
Sure.
Say I'm a parent balancing a million things, or an executive prepping for a highly stressful board meeting.
Yeah, everyday stressors.
I get the philosophy. I love Aristotle. The 753 code sounds amazing. But how do I actually apply this? How do I reprogram my nervous system?
The practical application happens through intentional movement.
Okay.
When a student is on the mats in their kimono, every single time they roll, frame, or block a strike,
Yeah.
they're instructed to treat it as a physical manifestation of their boundary.
Wait, let me make sure I understand this. A block isn't just your arm moving up to stop a punch.
No, it is a somatic experience.
Yes, somatic experience.
Yeah, trauma and stress are stored in the body.
Mm.
When you physically block a strike on the mats, you are sending a direct physical signal to your amygdala that you have agency.
Wow.
You are telling your brain, I am not helpless, I can set a boundary.
Oh, I see.
And this physical boundary setting interrupts the panic cycle. It lowers the cortisol response.
Because in a street self-defense scenario, panic is the ultimate enemy.
It really is.
Panic makes your muscles rigid, it destroys your peripheral vision, and it makes your movements incredibly inefficient.
But If you have trained your nervous system through intentional movement,
Right.
if you have associated the high-stress physical pressure of someone grappling with you to your core, why?
You respond with clarity.
Exactly, you stay fluid.
And the nervous system doesn't know the difference between a physical mugger in a parking lot and a verbal attack from a toxic boss in a boardroom,
No, yeah,
right?
that's exactly right.
It's all just perceived threat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've trained your body to respond to physical stress with clarity and purpose on the mats, that resilience naturally bleeds into the rest of your life.
That is the ultimate takeaway. The mats become a laboratory.
A laboratory, I love that.
Yeah, a controlled environment where you safely apply pressure to yourself to discover what truly drives you.
Right.
And we can see the tangible results of this reprogramming in the reviews we discussed earlier.
Like the one from Hannah Nicholson.
Yes. When parents like Hannah talk about the character strength of a 5-year-old improving, they are witnessing this mind-body connection in real time.
You are teaching a child, or an adult for that matter, how to move with intention. You are tying their physical actions to the virtues of the 753 code.
Exactly.
You are building someone who fundamentally understands their own value.
And when you deeply understand your own value, you naturally want to protect it.
Yeah.
You don't have to force yourself to be alert in that dark parking lot.
Because Anshin, that state of awareness, becomes a natural byproduct of valuing your own life.
Exactly. You wouldn't leave the door to a bank vault wide open
Of course not.
because you know there is something immensely valuable inside.
Right.
Once you realize your own internal value, your posture changes.
Your eye contact changes.
Yes. You stop walking through the world projecting vulnerability.
Because predators, whether they are physical attackers looking for an easy mark on the street or emotional vampires looking for someone to exploit in the workplace.
They operate on the same logic.
Right. They look for easy targets.
Mhm.
They look for people who are disconnected, distracted, and exhausted by the daily grind.
Which brings us back to the core definition of practical street self-defense.
Right.
The physical techniques, the joint locks, the escapes, the sweeps,
Yeah.
those are your absolute last line of defense.
Okay, then what is the first?
The first line of defense is a projected sense of purpose and unshakable confidence.
Wow.
It is an internal fortification.
It's not about learning how to destroy someone else. It's
No.
about constructing yourself so solidly that no one can tear you down.
That's exactly it. And that paradigm shift only happens when you stop asking how to fight and start asking why you are fighting.
Okay, we have covered some serious ground today.
You really have.
We started by entirely ditching the purely physical, sports-based view of martial arts, the idea that you just need the mechanical how-to manual.
Right.
We explored the trap of modern burnout, how getting stuck in the exhausted daily loop leaves our batteries drained and makes us vulnerable targets.
And from there, we bridge the gap to historical wisdom.
Yeah, looking at Nietzsche
Aristotle's concept of flourishing.
and Viktor Frankl's survival psychology.
Right.
We learned that human endurance requires a psychological anchor. And then we broke down the architecture of that anchor, the 753 code.
7 virtues of character
5 keys to physiological health.
and 3 states of psychological readiness.
Finally, we looked at the practical neuroscience. By putting on a kimono and stepping onto the mats, you use intentional movement to train your amygdala.
Yes.
You replace panic with agency, setting physical boundaries that reprogram how you handle stress in every area of your life.
This raises an important question, and it's something I want the listener to really sit with as we wrap up this deep dive.
Okay, lay it on us.
Based on the philosophy and the psychology we've unpacked today, if true self-defense is ultimately a means to protect the energy, the values, and the essence of who you are,
Yeah.
what specific part of your essence is currently sitting unprotected in your daily life right now?
Oh, wow.
Is it your time, your health, your boundaries at work?
Right.
And how might discovering your own internal why build an impenetrable shield around it?
That is a phenomenal question to chew on.
Yeah.
If you were listening to this and realizing that your vault door is wide open, that your energy is completely unprotected, and you desperately need to find your why, it is time to take action.
Absolutely.
If you happen to be in Colorado Springs, you can literally go see this philosophy in action.
You really should.
The Self-Defense Academy COS is located downstairs at the co-working space, The Nextus,
Go.
right at 525 North Cascade Avenue.
Right downtown.
Whether it's their Fighting Foundations program, the youth program, or organizing a corporate team building seminar with sushi, you can start building that internal fortress. For everyone else listening around the world, let this academy be the blueprint for what you should be looking for in your own community.
For sure.
Seek out an environment that doesn't just teach you the mechanics of a fight, but teaches you the philosophy of a purpose-driven life.
Because the physical and mental benefits of this practice are profound.
Yeah,
But the underlying realization is the foundation of it all.
absolutely. Because at the end of the day, as their core motto reminds us,
You are worth defending.
you are worth defending.